This is the Artist Entrepreneur Podcast. We are your hosts, Amanda Ritchie, Noah Dock, and me, Carrie Wee. We're three artists brought together by the love of circus and dance. Amanda from the world of Cirque du Soleil as an aerial soloist. Noah, our academic, and me from the commercial dance world. This is one of the greatest jobs in the world, but it comes with uncertainty. Each episode contains insight on how to pursue art-based businesses. We'll have a variety of guests and have lively weekly Discord. Tune in every week to hear our perspectives on the minefield that is the artist's way of life. Listeners, I'm so excited to have Kitty on because I've been hearing her name my whole career, actually. We're in LA at the same time I started dancing the year 2000, and I had like a 20-year career. I've never worked with you, Kitty, but I've heard of you from so many different ways. You're a choreographer, LA-based choreographer, and you're working with Dance Camera West right now, correct?
Yes.
Yes. If you would introduce yourself, a little bit about your career, a little bit about where you come from, and then we'll jump into how your artist entrepreneurship is going.
I'm Kitty McNamee, and I am, I think most of all, I would say that I'm a collaborator. I am a choreographer, I'm a director, I had a dance company in LA for many years called Hysterica Dance Company, which was amazing and one of the best experiences of my life. And I've recently started LA Pops Up, which is a dance on film platform. And we're taking like personal projects from people who dance for me, starting with that group like Ryan Heffington, Nina McNeely, Dina Thompson, their personal film projects, and then packaging them together and taking them out to the world. And now we started with them. They're like the inaugural folks. And now we are adding films from everybody in LA who's making this beautiful work.
Well, just those names that you spouted off right there, are you like the mom of all of those guys?
I'm like the fairy godmother.
So I know there's a lot of dancers. There's also a lot of aerialists, listen, and those worlds like touch, but they don't cross so much, actually.
Right.
The circus world and the dance world. And so Ryan Heffington and Nina McNeely. And then what's the third one? Oh, Dina yes. Thompson. We actually danced together on a couple things because we're,
really?
all like those three are in my generation of dance.
Yeah.
We're kind of the same age and we kind of grew up together. And they actually have this unique, they're in a category style-wise it's a very unique category. Is that your base? Like what I see out of them when it comes to their movement style, is that how you like to move?
Well, I cannot take credit for them. However, yes, I trained them. They all danced for me.
Yeah.
Ryan was one of the two first people in Hysterica. So we were working together for 10 years. I can't take credit for Ryan. He's a genius. He just came out of the womb that way. But I think definitely my sort of mashup of contemporary dance, pop culture, with some ballet thrown in, definitely infiltrates, the work that's happening even today. So I can't take credit for them, but I'm sure that somehow I was an influence.
I kind of put it in the same category. Like you, who was you to me, was Kati Jean.
Oh, I love Kati.
Yeah, Kati was the you to Nina and Ryan. She was the person that I worked with like that, and I was in her company. And the girls that we were dancing with, we all kind of have a similarity of style, and it kind of, you can see where that births from when you look at our movement and you look at her movement and how she views dance and movement. So, okay. So you've been in the industry for quite a while, and you have seen so many generations of shifts. What would you say is happening right now? Actually, that is a question I have for myself because I moved actually to Texas about a year and a half ago because I wasn't, I have a small child and I wasn't performing anymore. So we came down here, bought a house, me and my partner Asa, who's a musician actually. So what is it there now? What is the dance industry like now from your perspective, who has seen all the generations go by?
Well, it's really interesting because, like going back to Ryan, um, he really broke through with Chandelier, obviously, that music video.
Yes, Sia.
And Sia, yes. And he really made contemporary dance somehow like palatable to many, many, many people. So that kind of shifted things away from the hardcore like hip hop or street style and in kind of infused commercial work with a little more like contemporary or you could say artistic, but we're all artistic, but maybe a little bit more abstract work. And I think that since that point, people are more independent or individual. I think the industry, like what in the 2000s, early 2000s, there was a very certain look for dancers. And I think that that's expanded in a really incredible way. So you don't have to look like a pussycat doll.
Yes.
You don't have to be, as a woman, you don't have to be this delicious little object. You can be the subject and you can be the person who's putting your idea forward and you can look like the world looks. I think that's the biggest change I've seen from the outside looking in. I think also like social media really changed things because during the pandemic and then after, people were just doing everything on their own. Mm-hmm. And it was much more isolated and separate. Even like if you see all the TikToks and everything, it's just a single figure, single person, or maybe a couple of people standing in a room. And now I think people are getting antsy and it's kind of exploding again into a bigger, more of a collective energy, I think.
And do you feel like do you think LA is still saturated with dancers? Are there so many dancers still? Like, do the new dancers just always come?
Yeah. You don't feel it in the same way because, right, we had Edge.
Yes.
Or other studios to go to all of the time, and everybody would be there together, and you would take class and you would hang out, and that was your day, that was your life, was being in that community. And then again, when COVID hit, everybody was isolated.
Yeah.
And I think now it's getting back to that situation, but you don't feel the intensity of the numbers as much anymore, I don't think, because people are still a little bit more separate.
They're separated, and then the auditions are not all as like what we call cat calls. Cow calls?
Exactly.
Cattle calls. Cattle calls. Where everybody's in the same room and you look around and you know who your competition is. Now, so much of it is self-tape, and then we don't really know the edges of that big circle of that community anymore, I feel like, because we are separate, remote, as you like to call it, and it doesn't feel the same. Yeah, so interesting. I always like asking that question because I used to actually know a lot. Like, I used to write for Backstage West for dance, and I felt like I knew how everything went, and then you leave for a year or two and it feels like it shifts, or maybe it's the same as it always has been, but I don't have my finger on the pulse anymore.
It feels different. But I also feel like, unfortunately, last year was a pretty bad year for everybody work-wise. The fires and then strikes.
Yes.
And work moving out of LA. So even if you did, like, say there was a choreographer doing a commercial, they might be going to Prague to shoot it.
Yes.
Or Mexico. Like, it doesn't feel as concentrated again. So, and then if they're going to Prague or Mexico, they're picking up dancers there. So
sometimes production is like, no, you got to hire locals.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about your artist entrepreneurship. So tell us more about this venture that you have. What made you say this is the direction I want to go in?
Well, one of the things I do in addition to choreography jobs is I started making dance films, and I did it to have kind of what I had with Hysterica Dance Company, to have an outlet where I really had control and I wasn't doing it for a gig. I could do what I wanted, how I wanted, cast who I wanted, so I started making films, and I made a few short dance films. And then I decided to do a documentary because I love dancers and I love creative people. And I wanted to sort of show the rest of the world what that life is like. And I taught myself, I'm still teaching myself how to do it. And one thing I encountered was people who would say to me things like, well, you're not a filmmaker, or you're not a director, or you can't make a documentary. It was really frustrating and really painful because I thought, well, why not? Why can't I be a filmmaker? Like, am I supposed to have come from a film school and have a pedigree? And like, when you do a dance company, I'm directing everything there and choreographing. Like, why not? So I saw other people like Ryan and Nina and other people, Tony Testa, making these films which would go out to festivals and they would go make the rounds for 6 months or 9 months and then they just sit on a shelf. And I thought, my God, there's like so much beautiful creative work. Why not sort of package them and get them out so the rest of the world can see what LA does, like independently? Because I think people all over the world, especially on the East Coast, feel like LA's commercial dancers and they're not real dancers and they're not creative. They're just making a buck. And it's just so not true. So I decided to make, sometimes I get these crazy ideas, right? Like, oh, I'm going to have a dance company. Crazy idea. But I did it. And then I was like, I'm going to do LA Pops Up. Crazy idea. Luckily, Kelly Hargraves at Dance Camera West liked my crazy idea and has been partnering with me. But I don't know, I just came up with the idea and decided to run with it.
Okay, so this is a platform that people can visit a website.
Yeah.
And walk me through it. What are they going to find there?
So what the platform does is, okay, so a good example is Dance Camera West brings films from all over the world to LA and then puts together programs where people can see what's happening in the world dance-wise, dance film-wise. Our platform is people from LA, it's the opposite, the inverse, those films going out to the world. So the first year I selected, from people I knew, like a small roster of films. That first year was last year. So
Got
it's
it.
all very new.
Yeah.
And then Dance Camera West wanted to open it up to submissions. So after that first year, we opened it up for submissions and people can submit their films to be considered for this platform. So the website, if you go there, it'll tell you like who I am, who Kelly is, what we're doing. Like we're collaborating, we're curating. And then also kind of like what recent things are happening, like the most recent Dance Camera West screening in January, upcoming screenings. There's a whole page for filmmakers, their voices. So it's called Meet the Makers. So you can go there and see Dina talk about the process of making her film.
Okay.
Or like behind the scenes from Tony Testa and Wade Robeson on their last film. So that's my favorite page.
Yeah.
Because the filmmakers make what they want. They send it to me. I don't do anything. I just pop it up there.
So you have obviously embraced technology. I feel like even in the Wayback Machine, when Instagram first started, there was a little bit of a pushback from our community on, especially like the veteran dancers who were just like, this is meaningful now. What about all the time and energy that I put into it? And now it's like, okay, you want the likes and the views and the followers. I feel like that's shifting a little bit though. Like there was a moment there.
Shifting a little bit.
Yeah. There was a moment there years ago, maybe it was pre-COVID, where it was like, if you had the numbers, you're going to get the audition. You're going to like get the job over somebody else. There might have been like a little bit of a excitement around that. And then maybe people learned that that wasn't the best way to cast. Kitty's giving me big eyes.
People would get cast just from their Instagram, right?
Yeah. But you can't tell their work ethic from there if they show up to work on time, all that fun stuff. That is really important if you're getting, if money's on the line and you got to be on set.
So important.
Yeah. So there was a little heyday of that. And I think it's kind of, even me being here in Texas, I can feel that kind of shifting. How about you? Like when the idea of technology and how it works with our art and how it works with marketing ourselves. What's your view on it? What do you like embracing? What do you like putting to the side? What do you think other dancers and choreographers should take advantage of when it comes to the tools that we have now?
Well, I think for Ellie Pops Up more than myself, it's a really good way to communicate. So we don't have that many followers, but we can reach a lot of people building up to a show or a screening very quickly, right?
Right.
It's almost like a newsletter or almost like a flyer we would do in the old days. Like, it's almost like sending a flyer out.
Yes.
So I think it's really important for that. Otherwise, I'm not sure how I would reach people. And like I said, I don't have that many followers, but the people in the community do.
Yes.
So if I engage them, then they spread the word. So I think for that and for Dance Camera West, it's a really good thing because it helps us keep that sense of like engagement with the community, even when we don't have a screening. Like I'll post some, one of the filmmakers, like Carissa Kroger, works a lot and does really specific movement direction work. I'll post something of hers on the Hysterica page because Ellie Pops Up lives on Hysterica Productions page. Or Mike Tyus will be doing, FK Twig's new tour. I'll post that on the page. Mm-hmm. So it's a good way to embrace community for me. Personally, on my own, I'm not as active. I probably should be more active.
Well, I think it's hard because, especially for the dance side, because I actually had my archive career before Instagram was even a thing. I think on my last couple jobs, I was like posting a lot of stuff, but it was only on the last couple big jobs that I did. I mean, I don't even have footage of some of the stuff that I've done, which is sad to me, right? But that's how it used to be. We didn't film every moment of class and every performance and rehearsal. We didn't do that. And now it feels like it's almost reversed, and like the reasoning to do something is to get the film.
Yeah.
I know you might experience. Are you still teaching class?
I'm not teaching, but it makes me think, because a lot of people have been saying to me, I go to class, but it's really not class because it's an opportunity to get filmed or for the teacher to promote their work. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to be vulnerable and really take a risk. I'm not teaching now. I'm thinking about doing it again, but yeah.
Also, the edge is no longer, and that's probably where you'd want to be, like somewhere the edge. I know there's a bunch of students in North Hollywood that are new now that weren't even there pre-COVID. So the landscape has changed a little bit. But you're there in the city. Now, there are dancers all over the country, all over the world, who are there's still plenty to dream for. I feel like dance is more prevalent in our TV, film, commercials, TikTok, Instagram than it has ever been. It's interesting because our industry has changed so much. But then when it comes to people just seeing dance, they're seeing it everywhere. I'm seeing it everywhere.
That's true. It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. And in a way, like, the more dance is alive, the more our industry will get its blood back, like ebbs and flows over the years, because there's something feeding it. So there are dancers all over the world, all over the country, who still dream of doing this. Do you have any advice for those people, knowing what you know now? Do they move to LA? Is that still the thing to do? Like, do they move to New York? Do they still try to do the old formula, which I knew very well, which is you go to the classes, you create community, and then you gain trust of the choreographers, and then suddenly you get asked for things if you keep on becoming disciplined about it. Is that formula, would you think, is that what it is, or has it shifted a lot, or has it just evolved?
I think it's the same, but it's evolved and evolving.
Okay.
I mean, I would say LA or New York. I think with the feedback that I hear from New York people is that it's more segmented. So you're a Broadway dancer and that's what you do. Or you're a commercial dancer and that's what you do. Or you're a company dancer and that's what you do. You don't cross over. I think here people are,
Yeah.
people are weaving through, and that's one thing that I love about LA is that I can work at the opera and then I can also do a movie for Lifetime as a choreographer, like in the span of 2 months. Or I can, work at the LA Philharmonic and then be doing a dance film of my own that's really quirky and super, super low rent at the same time. Like there's a lot of levels to the work here. I think also because LA is it's so spread out that there's room for the individual here more than in New York. That's my
Okay.
experience. But I think I don't know how else you would do it really. I don't know how else you would do gigs unless there's a gig to be done,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
if you're like I grew up in Ohio. I was in
Really?
Ohio.
I grew up in
Yeah.
Ohio.
Where really?
Yeah.
Where?
Columbus area, but this small place called Granville, Ohio.
I lived in Ashland, which is between Cleveland and Columbus. It's a really small.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I moved to Texas for my last year of high school. But most of the time I was in Ohio.
Kitty, did you have a whole career just as a dancer?
No, not really.
No. Okay.
I didn't start till I was 16.
Okay. So you came in, like, how did you even start? I don't even know this. How did you even start?
Well, I was living in that small town in Ohio, like out in the country
Yeah.
for real. And I would watch like movie musicals and stuff, and I loved them. But then, like, the Joffrey 2 came through my town, and somehow I ended up at that show. Like, nobody in my family is in the arts. And I saw that, and I was like, that's it. That's what I want to do. But the only thing I could do was like, there was a woman named Helen Kaczynski who was a teacher in my town. There was one. She taught out of her garage.
Wow.
She was awesome. She was so, so inspiring. Like she had had a career in Chicago. She got married, she had kids, and she moved back to Ashland. And I was 16. My junior year of high school, I got on the drill team. I was in heaven.
That's awesome.
It was like the Rockettes. I was
Yeah.
living my best life. It was amazing. And then, I moved to Texas, went to Performing Arts High School. Then I went to UT in Austin.
Okay.
And then when I left, I kind of like floundered for a while. I didn't have a lot of confidence. I had been dancing for 5 years. I was like a really good performer, but I wasn't super strong physically. And I wasn't a spectacular dancer. Like I loved it, but I wasn't like really good, but I understood it. I mean, even the fact that I auditioned for the Performing Arts High School after dancing for less than a year.
I
got
know.
in.
That's impressive.
I don't know why. It wasn't my skill. I think they could see that I understood it somehow.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. But
Well, I would say you probably have this unique movement quality, knowing what I know, like about the people who have come after you. And it's like, no one I know moves like that.
I guess
You know?
so. Yeah, I think that may be part because I didn't have a lot of training, right?
Yeah. So it's
So
very
I didn't have
organic.
anyone to, I didn't have anyone to copy. And I think that's the thing with Hysterica too, is that, I was crazy. Like I'd never been in a company. I'd never had a company. Like, what was I thinking? Like, I'm gonna start a dance company. And I didn't have anybody to get off my back. Like I didn't have any rules. I had inspiration from Martha Graham. Like I loved Martha Graham. I loved Bob Fosse. Like I had inspiration from people. But I also was really, really lucky because like Bubba Carr. I don't know if you know
Yeah, I don't know
Bubba,
him personally. I know his name though.
but I had done something in the theater company I was with, and because I thought for a second I was going to be an actress, which was really a bad idea. Like the wrong personality for that. But I met Bubba and he started dancing for me. And, Bubba was like one of the top commercial dancers in LA at the
Yeah.
time. Like partnered Cher was on all of her
Yeah.
tours and Fame. And I was like, hey, Bubba, you want to dance for me? And he was like, sure. Like, it's crazy. Like, why would he dance for me? I just moved to LA. I had no reputation. I had no credentials. I had nothing. And he said, I have this other guy who's taking my class. Maybe he can dance for you. And that was Ryan.
Mm.
And so I was like, sure. So I had these kind of people to work with, and they have very strong
Yes. I
personalities.
mean, okay. I'm going to tell you a theory. I have half of a
Okay.
theory, and I want you to tell me what
Okay.
you think about it. There's something about, and it's not just dancers, it's singers. It's like when LA was smaller, not
Yeah.
geographic, but when our community was smaller. For example, in 2000, I moved out, and my first audition was for California Adventure, and it was a tap gig. And I got hired because I am Asian and I tap, and there's not very many of us at that time. There's maybe one other person. And that's why I think I got hired. And every single person on that gig was in their early 20s. We all became professional tap dancers. They all became the ones, Mike Whitmer's, Chris Rutledge, Nick Bowman, who owns West Coast Dance Explosion now. They all, in that small group of people who get that one gig, we
Yeah.
cultivated ourselves enough
Yes.
that
Yes.
we all ended up doing very, very well in the thing that we wanted to do. I feel like it's so crazy because what is that? How? You know what I'm saying? Because if you took 5 to 10 people and put them in a cast right now, there's very little chance that all of them would cultivate and do that. They would just, it would dissipate, right?
Yeah.
So how did it happen back then? What was the magic sauce that we had back then? Or was it that it was small enough and that we allowed ourselves to develop? Like, what is your theory on this?
Well, I think two things, because I'm a Libra. I'm always like, I think it was small enough and there was enough kind of close-knit community
Uh-huh.
that everybody would kind of support each other. But I think, like, as an example of that, Baba took me to Edge and introduced me to Bill Prudich.
Yes.
And he was like, hey, Bill.
Listeners,
Kitty
Bill was co-owner of the Edge, right? There's 2 of them?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Co-owner of the Edge and gave 1 million people
Opportunities.
their shot.
Yes.
But Bubba took me to Bill and was like, Kitty's starting a dance company. Meet Kitty. Can she rehearse here and teach here? Okay, I'd never taught a dance class in my life. And Bill was like, yeah, I have a good feeling about you. Yeah, you can rehearse here. And he also wanted something more like artistic to balance the commercial.
Mm-hmm.
Like you were just weird enough and just had something that I decided to take a gamble. But he gave me space there like 5 days a week, 4 hours a day for almost 10 years.
Wow.
For free.
Wow.
For free. Yeah. So that kind of support.
Yes.
If you don't have something like that, it's already hard.
Yeah.
But then you're also at Edge rehearsing. So that's how I found Nina. Nina was at Edge and she was watching my class and she was like, wow, what the hell are they doing in there?
Yes.
She was a competition dancer.
Yeah.
And she's like, what are you doing? And I was like, I don't know. Come on in.
Yeah.
And then I remember very clearly, she was probably 18. We were standing by the desk at Edge. And I was talking to her about dancing for Hysterica. She's like, yeah, I'd love to. Been doing stuff with Ryan and Bubba in the nightclubs. And I'm going to be a choreographer. Like, I really want to be a choreographer.
Yeah, she felt
And
it
I was like,
early.
sure you will. I'm sure you will be a choreographer. Like, it was just like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't think it's taking people seriously, but it's sort of like going on that journey, that imaginative, that manifestation journey with them.
I mean, maybe it's so multifaceted because also it was more affordable to live in LA at the time. So you didn't have
Yes.
to maybe you had a
Yes.
Starbucks job, but then you didn't have to take on all these other things just to pay your bills so that you can go to class 1 hour a week. You were there. Everyone was around. You know, the Britney
Yeah.
Spears, I remember when the Britney Spears, like Andre Fuentes and all them came back from tour and they all were in Brian Freeman's class. And we're like, I'm in their class and I'm just like trying to like be on the side of the second row, you know, like trying to feel like I was a part of it. But I was a part of
Yeah.
it. I ended up being a
You
part of
were.
it. And it's like, oh my God, they were just like the gods came back down from like the mountain to dance in class with us. You know what I'm saying? And like that place smelled so bad and like it was just like sweat
did.
everywhere. And I think back, and I don't know about you, but it was our fame,
Yes.
you know?
Yes, it was absolutely like that. And I think also like again, like that it's like a cross hibernation or something because Nancy Anderson was also one of the first dancers in Hysterica.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I just saw her name
And she
today on
was-
Instagram somewhere. I don't know. Because, you know.
Yeah, she's still working. I
Yeah.
mean, she's on Tom Royale as like the associate choreographer or something.
Oh, that's great.
But she got, this cracks me up. She was on scholarship at Edge. When she got off, you know, at the end of the Edge scholarship situation, they all auditioned for an agent.
Mm-hmm.
Nancy did not get an agent. And then I think I asked her to dance for me. She did. Not because of me, but then I think she did get an agent. And she wanted to go to that big Gap khaki commercial.
Oh,
which
is like everybody knows about it.
Brady.
Kevin Stay, King, you know, in the thing. Yes.
Stephanie Landry.
Yes, all these people.
They wouldn't send her on the audition.
Did she end up getting it?
She went, she got
Yeah.
it. She and Stephanie Landwehr were the two main girls.
Listeners.
But it's like that kind of like risk taking.
Yeah, yeah. Google Gap khaki ad from like the 2000s because that's kind of a lot of that like culture of dance in commercials kind of started at that time. And then you just pray to God that you can get into those commercials every holiday season around October and November. You're like,
Yes.
Old Navy, come through. You know what I'm saying? I got real close on a couple and I was like, oh my God. Oh my God, Kitty, I could talk to you forever. Like I don't get to talk to people from my, you know, just that generation, there's a couple, there's like 2 or 3 overlapping generations of dancers who had it in a very specific way, and it's changed forever now because it's exploded. It's worldwide. It's remote. We are all seeing everything, and it's no longer analog, I guess is the word to use. But yeah, how about for choreographers and filmmakers? What is your advice to them when it comes to getting seen, getting their stuff out there? Because marketing is the problem. I feel like it's always a marketing problem.
Yeah, and I think it's this what I'm gonna say I think holds true for dancers also. Like just make the work, do it. Make the work, even if it's short. If you're gonna be a choreographer, you know, choreograph small bits and get it out there on Instagram or anywhere you can. And just practice your skills the way I did with Hysterica with stage. The way people are doing it now, like Robbie Blue, he was doing a whole bunch of stuff just on his own, going in the studio, making stuff, filming class, you know, training himself in essence on choreography and choreography for the camera. Just do it, make it, and then build your community. I think those are the only things you can do. And then because also it's luck, it's chance. There's so many factors.
Yeah.
Right now I'm looking for LA Pops Up. I look at all of these dance films. There's so much talent out there. It's crazy.
So much. Are you talking about Robbie, the Cat's Eye choreographer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was just making, like he would film combinations from
Yeah.
class, and then he would make small, like if you go on his YouTube, he would make small dance films or little, just like choreograph a piece and film it.
Yeah.
Just, I think somebody stumbled across it and was like, wow, this guy's got it.
Yeah.
And, one thing led to another. So I don't think anyone can see that you can do it unless they can actually see it.
Yeah. You have to show them what they want to see, right? Because if they can't see it, they don't have the imagination.
Yeah, they don't. And if they don't actually see that you have something to look at,
Yeah. And I feel
like they can't read your
right.
mind.
And I feel like some of the styles that you're talking about, like the guy who did Cat's Eye denim ad for Gap, there's another dance company, which I'm losing the name of right now, but they're all in pedestrian clothing and the movement is so specific and it's gorgeous. Like this company. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
do.
God. What is the name of
The
this
name of
company?
it.
Like all their videos are viral, right?
Yeah.
And it's like this new type of dance that's out there. It's either that the world has changed and these people are meeting the moment, or their ideas of movement are actually creating the movement. Like I'm not sure because
I'm not sure either.
TikTok, because we have such a small screen, it's only narrow, so you see a lot of people just using their hand gestures, and it's like really gestural dance.
Yeah. Well, Ryan started that too with Sia.
Yes. It's not as much of a flow, I would say. It's kind of like,
Right.
it's very, especially with Cat's Eye recently, it's like, it's very gestural and everyone loves it. Like the kids are just mimicking it. I joke all the time that if I was in this era, I would not have made it because I don't dance like, or maybe I would have started dancing like that.
Might have.
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, I think too, like when I got to LA, there was a lot of hip hop going on.
Yeah.
I was not a hip hop person. I was not a commercial person. I came from like a modern dance fascination, right? So the odds of me getting any work with that kind of background and also not being that great were very low. But in my case, that worked for me because I never would have done what I did if I was looking.
You found a niche and then niche down into it. Me, I was a generalist and I did my best to do everything good enough so that I could just there's a lot of ensemble work. And if you can do something good enough and you fit the size and you fit the height and you have great relationships with choreographers, they trust you on set, you end up with getting work that way. And then there's Kitty, who's obviously just so niche down into it that it ends up being really, really successful. Anyways, I don't know where this conversation is going anymore. I just know that dancers, aerialists too, we have a lot of young aerialists listen to this. And I think that it serves them too, the circus world. So many circus people don't have a dance at all education, which is interesting. Yeah. Because if you think about it, you kind of need to, because you're a physical body and you're doing all these shapes and you need to kind of know stuff. So, if you're out there, like maybe spread your wings a little bit, even if it's just digitally and you're like looking at people's stuff, you're maybe find other people to watch. Kitty has this platform. I'm going to put it in the show notes so you guys can kind of look at what we're talking about with this type of movement quality. But Kitty, I love having you on. I should have you on again when I have my co-hosts because they're dancers too, and they would totally geek out on you.
Okay.
Noah Dock, one of my co-hosts, he's a dancer aerialist, but he was like trained in that Terry Beeman world.
Oh yeah.
When Terry used to be at Hollywood Aerial Arts. And he grew up with that. And then Amanda Ritchie, the other co-host I have, she was got thrown into Cirque du Soleil at a pretty young, 20, 21. And then soloed at soloists for years and years and years. Yeah. So I'm kind of the commercial dancer of us. They split the line a little bit differently. But I really appreciate you coming on and carving out your time. I'm going to put all this info in the show notes. And then, listeners, you can go and check out LA Pops Up and then also Dance Camera West.
Thank you.
Yeah. Where else can they find you, Kitty?
Well, they could go to kittymcnamee.com.
Okay, wonderful. I love that. It's easy.
And or on Instagram at Hysterica Prods. is the Instagram for LA Pops Up.
Thank you so much for tuning in. You can find Amanda Ritchie at Grounded in Flight on Instagram and at Noah Doc on Instagram, as well as Red Flags app. And me, Carrie Wee, you can find at wrapyourheadaroundsilks.com. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. We have so much more coming at you, including guests that are in this art world, that are blazing their way through new businesses, and, just more banter from us. Thank you for listening. This is The Artist Entrepreneur.